I'm in favor of ending all suffrage and going back to kings. I don't think we gave monarchy a fair shake.
What family would you choose?
Oh, that's a good question.
Kardashians.
No, they have to be number one. They gotta be tall. They gotta be good looking. We gotta have a good looking family. We can't have
Kardashians aren't doing it for you.
No, they're short.
They're a
short little family. Tiny little short little family. No, we need tall.
I didn't know.
Tall guys.
Well, I mean, Baron
Who's
Trump
a tall
comes to mind.
Baron Trump. That's okay.
His name.
He is tall, and Baron is a great name.
King Baron.
You know what it comes down to is if his wife ends up being like a 6'2" Swede model, then we start next generation.
See how it turns out
with that new Trump, because that guy's going to be 7'2". He's going to be, I don't know what Barron's like, but he seems like a good enough kid. He got shit on for no reason by a bunch of douchebags for 4 years.
How do you feel about Arnold?
I don't like his accent for leading the U.S.
I know
he's too old. He's too old. I don't care about him anymore.
Well, he's gonna.
How about his Mexican son? He's jacked.
How about we put him in it? Like, what's it called when you've got someone? The steward. How about we have a stewardship while we work out the kingship, and Arnold is the steward of the throne.
All right, I'm
sort of a Denethor like.
I am scenario. Almost in. I don't know.
Woody's going to love his
wait, hold on. No. You would need. Arnold is old, and he abused steroids his whole life, and so his heart could pop any second. And then I don't know who the next person in charge is at the Schwarzenegger.
He had surgery. He's straight.
Yeah, I don't know about a Schwarzenegger dynasty, but definitely give him some position. Yeah,
he's just going to hold on to the throne until he dies, and then he'll go to he's looking at it. He's the Denethor. The king will rise in the east.
That guy RFK Jr. I don't want him anywhere near anything. He doesn't get to be in it. He can talk about his stack and his workout routine, and that's it.
Dude's ripped.
I just want to see him debate, man. I don't. He's not necessarily my guy for anything.
Yeah, he's a gun grabbing douche.
Yeah, there's a lot of his shit that I disagree with, but as a Democrat, I'm like, all right, I'm willing to throw this Molotov in. Like, I'm curious to see how he does. Like, if I know he'll never debate Biden, but I would really like to see it.
Yeah, imagine that. Neither one of them can really speak very well.
Yeah,
speak up. You speak up.
If I could walk over there.
You guys like my RFK impression?
I know. Just clear your throat for 90 minutes and you're set.
The thing about guns. It's like, shut up. Stop talking.
I've heard people saying they don't think Biden's going to run when I suggested that Biden. When I started talking about how Biden and Trump match up hypothetically or whatever, they're like, "You think Biden's running?"
He announced. I think it's official.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I know that all that, but what they think is that is a deception.
Ah.
I mean, he could easily, like, when it's time, be like, for health reasons, I've decided I'm going to bow out of this, and I want to put all my faith and confidence behind X, Y, and Z.
I would be worried about him handing the torch over to Gavin Newsom.
I think that's most likely. That
if it was going to be somebody, I think Kamala can't carry more than 20 points.
Win.
She's very unlikable.
She won't get selected.
There's a reason we haven't seen her for a while. I think she's getting booted out because she just.
I think she'll be selected as VP again.
Candidates,
and I don't know how much she helps or hurts. I mean, I just don't know. Like, does she help with the female vote? Does she help with the black vote?
Who?
Kamala.
Kamala.
Oh, no, she's just not likable, and she tried so desperately to pivot to this like progressive, like hardline lefty progressive, and it's like, no, your entire like career was locking people up for weed and shit. Like, it's not, and just because you're like,
right?
I'm just laughing like Hillary
Everything
Clinton.
You're saying is right, but like, so I follow politics a lot. Like every day, I devote like an hour to it or something stupid, and I wonder, like, it's easy for someone like me to place way too much emphasis on some current event when in reality it's totally forgotten in history, and it's really all about branding and vibe when it comes down to getting voted for.
See, that's what Trump would do. He'd call out moments like this on a debate stage. Like you'd be surprised that he's bringing up something that everybody's talking about, but he's not sticking to his speaking notes and his canned replies to X, Y, and Z question. When he'd go off script and start, picking at them on something like this. Like if you in a vice presidential debate, that's what I do. I talk, like, especially if you had a VP from a state with legal marijuana who could stand behind that and go after her record on marijuana from the right, you destroy her. You destroy her.
I don't think anybody is like, or I'm probably wrong, but like, who's that amped up over Trump at this point? Like he didn't do anything other, like he didn't do anything in office. He didn't really do much of anything.
So I agree. He passed a tax cut. That's a signature thing.
Didn't start any wars.
Tax cut didn't start wars. Supreme Court.
A good bit of his foreign policy and stuff, and like there's especially his first like.
Oh, do you like the Supreme Court? We're just going to rattle that one off like it's nothing.
No, I listed that.
The Supreme Court is like getting a legendary, unique item on your first day. It's paying dividends every fucking day for the next 30 fucking years, Taylor.
Getting a legendary ancient item.
6 presidents from now, Trump will be deciding what's going on in this country. The people he chose will be 6 presidents from now. That'll be happening.
I don't think that's true.
Not 6 from now.
It's only 24 years. I'm just,
well, no, because they're going to average.
They double, 6
or 8 years.
But so what, Brandon? Because Brandon was saying it, like he didn't start any new wars. That's like probably the best thing he did is not get us involved in endless proxy fights.
Yeah, and his first 100 days are pretty good with some of his executive action. As much as I'm not a fan of executive action as a whole, some of his stuff like rolling out to organizations like ATF, EPA, whatever. Like, hey, if you're going to add a new regulation, you got to take out 2. Choose any 2. Like a little shit like that, like reining in the government a little bit. I'm like, all right, I can be down for that. Like he was kicking ass for a while, and then he just ran out of fucking steam and started focusing on shit I may not agree with.
Yeah, I remember people making fun of that, and it's like, no, unironically, that's a great thing. Like, you think that bureaucrats whose entire job is to create bureaucracy don't over-bureaucrat things? Like, of course they do. There's way more than needs to be there. Like, simplify it, make it simpler, easier.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
What are you going to say? There's zero way?
Anytime you can simplify any system and keep it as effective, it's a benefit.
Yeah, sure.
So I think there's people who are really excited about Trump, although I don't think it's for the reasons that we're talking about. I think the people who are really excited about Trump probably just like him as a man.
Or they just hate the Democrats and the left so much. Like there's a lot of that where they're like, I don't want fucking this being taught to my kids. Now we know the direction of all the wind because of those Canadian fires. Those irresponsible Canucks up there, they're not watering their plants. They're not cleaning up all the sticks the way
North America
botanist Trump recommended. They don't have the stick sweeping teams that he said would take care of this. So.
We need Trump and his Sharpie to redefine where the smoke is. If you could help us out. There's too much fire.
I don't want to step over it, but there's too much fire. Like it's just like saying something everyone agrees with. Yeah, that was hilarious. One of his best ideas was sweeping forest floors to prevent forest fires. And then I actually got owned a little bit because I read like some forest fire guy who's like, the way he said it was stupid, but he's kind of right. And I'm like, really? Damn, that sounds so dumb.
Yeah, the reason we have these crazy monumental forest fires, one of the contributing factors is that we have this complete fire prevention. So there are never fires until there are. So the undergrowth builds up, all those dead leaves and pine cones and shit, layer after layer of fuel, and then one does spark off, whether it's lightning or a psycho who just starts a fire. People have done that. A lot of those bigger wildfires. I know there was one recently about everyone went to town. Look what global warming did. Turned out it was a guy. It was a crazy guy. He started a fucking fire. It usually is, or lightning or something like that. But yeah, Trump's right sometimes.
That's true.
Or when he's not right. Sometimes like a little bit of me was like, was this idea worth exploring? You know, when he asked, hey, what if we put a disinfectant in the blood to kill COVID? I'm like, all right, that sounds. He's just asking the question. Is it a good idea? Is this something? What if we use
demonstrates an ignorance about the science that none of us have? We all go, whoa. Hey there, Tyke. Disinfectant in the blood. I think you might. I think. Baby out with the bathwater in that scenario, right? No, how about you incinerate the whole?
Everything.
Maybe if we bring the blood to say 1,000 degrees, would that kill COVID? Yes,
very
Mr.
briefly.
President, that would kill all the COVID in the blood.
Okay, then this one. He wanted to buy Greenland, right? He's like, how much does it cost to buy Greenland? And I'm like, spitballing here. How much does it cost to buy Greenland? Is that a good purchase? I'm down for some real estate investing.
I'm down to ask some questions. At least it's not like Greenland's on fucking Zillow. So hey, let's at least get some quotes.
Exactly. Now, I think he threw some sort of temper tantrum and didn't go to like the G7 when they told him it wasn't for sale. Then that part I don't like.
I don't. Yeah. You don't tell America something's not for sale.
What he should have said, instead of buying Greenland, he should have offered to sell Puerto Rico. That's the fucking move.
Oh, like a trade.
A trade, yeah.
We already have plenty of tropical places to go. Like we already have Hawaii, and so as far as solidifying good vacation spots, Greenland's better.
I'm sure Greenland cash flow is better than Puerto Rico too. So this is the art of the deal. Great deal. Everyone's talking about it.
It's a fantastic deal. Ask anyone, except for the Prime Minister of Greenland. But
so what do you do with the people of Greenland then? Do they just become citizens?
They go to Puerto Rico.
They have to they become whatever Puerto Ricans are. They're residents or whatever.
Yeah.
You don't just get citizenship. They don't get our rights and stuff. The Puerto Ricans do. We're gonna make a new class of people for those Greenlandians.
What should we call them?
It's kind of like Guam.
Greenies.
Yeah.
Greenies. Yeah. Get your greenie ass back in the line.
Why didn't Trump reach out to us? We have great ideas.
That he should, dude. Soon we're gonna have a bunch of greenies doing. I'm gonna be yelling at some guy from Greenland mowing my yard.
Hey, what's the greenie kids with
straight line, Sven?
I don't do well in this heat.
He's awful. It's like, and you're fucking red as shit. Wear something.
Keep your greasy greenie hands off our women.
Greasy greeny hands up. They're all 6'7" jacked. And we're like bullying them. They
Alexander Skarsgård.
They all look like the Mountain and Alexander Skarsgård, and we're like, God, these fucking greenies making us look like bitches. We're also. I hate this new. Imagine how much that would suck. There's a new group of immigrants from Greenland. There's millions of them. They're all 6'5".
You fuck up the ratio.
I would be fucking. That would get me in the streets protesting.
You know what the opposite of that is?
Shut this down. No more.
Here's the opposite of that. And we could make this happen on our little continent. In Poland, they have a real problem right now because there are just so many hundreds of thousands of beautiful Ukrainian women who have moved to their country for some reason.
What a terrible problem.
Is that war?
We need a war in Mexico.
Oh? You want some Latino women up here?
Drive the Mexican women to us.
Yeah, they need encouragement.
And then we can build the wall.
Just go.
You were big on the wall, weren't you?
Yeah, San Antonio.
I was the same size I always am.
I think
I thought the wall was a good idea when he said it. I still kind of do. It just seems like I always get embarrassed when I see them like shimmying through it. Like they're like cut it with a sawzall, and it's like, that's like mild steel. What are you doing?
It's a bad idea because of those reasons. Better wall. The problem with security sometimes is you have to spend $1 trillion, and they can defeat it with like, I don't know, $19.95. Certainly $150 beats that wall. You can get a Sawzall or like a Milwaukee angle grinder, with
I see your point, but the goal isn't to stop one amigo, right? It's to stop this like open flow of people, like caravans and vehicles and stuff.
All those bad hombres.
We'd be happy to have the bad hombres drop in one at a time. Local law enforcement and border control has been going crazy the last couple of years handling that. But I think, just a barrier of some kind would be nice. One of my favorite.
Opening my mind a bit. Like I see where you're coming from, the larger package.
Make it more expensive for drug traffickers if they've got to build a fucking $2 billion tunnel now out of Juarez or something.
I'm still wondering if there's something out there that's like more cost effective. Motion sensors on towers with.
I think they were doing that.
Have that.
They do have that. Is that what we should be doing? Because a wall to me is a little bit of a marketing thing at this point.
I want robots. This is where we should send those dog bots with the flamethrowers.
Dog bots with flame? Tell me more.
Zach, show them the dog bot with the flamethrower. You're going to love this shit. This is what you're going to be scared of. When the cops like take control and they're taking guns from homes, they'll be walking down the street with a bunch of these dogs. They'll go in and they'll be like the seeker destroyers after the spider bots go in and look around and find
stuff. Miller was right. Separating moms from babies was a half measure that was never going to work. We needed to drone strike them.
Is that what he said?
Yeah, so that was
well, that's going a step too far.
Well, that was the video we did with I did a thing where we were mounting. That's a Photoshop. That dog could not handle a fucking. We put machine guns on the back of the dog, like an MP5 and like a KP9, whatever. And the recoil is a little too much in full auto, but a flamethrower doesn't have recoil. Well, small ones don't have.
It's that out of the box.
Yeah, there's little electric ones.
Spot in government.
Were these dogs that you messed with, Brandon? Were they pretty impressive, or were you kind of like, oh, these are actually kind of shit?
They were so bad. It was there was a constant struggle to get them to not immediately like do a backflip and kill themselves.
They just parkour to death. It's like, fuck, another 200
somehow managed to shoot itself even though it clearly can't.
For example, feast your eyes on the muzzle climb right now. He is like fucking 30 degrees over the berm like this.
Yeah, that's got to be a problem.